Yo, what's going on, everyone? Chasing Sportzermedia here. Welcome back to another video. This one's going to be a Let's Talk NFL edition, NFL Draft edition, right? We're going to kind of dig into the draft picks. Honestly, we don't want to go crazy analysis like their exact stats, their senior year or their junior year at college, but we kind of just want to talk about it, just get our feelings out about it and be casual about it, right? Because I'm excited. This draft was great. There was just great prospects.
A lot going on. Pretty entertaining draft. A lot of changes, trades, moves. It was a lot happening.
It just felt like one of the better. Like it felt like every fan base was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Is what kind of I got from it, except for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Mozzie Smith or whatever they got. And we'll start with the number one pick, which is Bryce Young. Phenomenal athlete, phenomenal quarterback, leadership ability. Played at Bama, Nick Saban for all those years. What do you think? Just a great pick, right?
Pretty solid pick. I mean, going to play under Frank Reich and pair up with Miles Sanders and DJ Moore. It's a pretty good situation. I think he has a similar play style to like Jalen Hurts potentially. I mean, it's his rookie year, but I think it's a solid pick. And like it was the clear need for the Panthers. It was like solid pick.
Oh, I agree, and I think he's going to have a pretty decent cast, right? Would it be good for them to add another veteran wide receiver like a DeAndre Hopkins? Of course, that can always be great. Sure. Is there still questions about that offense? Of course, it's a rookie QB, but nonetheless, like it's a safe pick rather than them going Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, which was rumored a week before the draft.
There's a lot of upside with Carolina now.
Mm-hmm. No, totally.
As a team.
Yeah, I totally agree. Number two, which is another quarterback taken off the board out of Ohio State, C.J. Stroud, who, as we know, like there was a rumor going around, or I guess a report about how bad his cognitive test was.
Right.
And again, that did obviously raise red flags. But personally, I'm kind of like, let's see how he plays football.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, but like I can see it definitely raising concern.
Yes.
Like that is a pretty low score. What was it, like
it was something bad
or something?
Yeah, it was
like,
something really bad.
That's pretty low, and if you're going to be like a franchise you want your quarterback to be able to like retain information.
Mm-hmm. But the whole thing, like the way I look at it is like he was still mocked. Like he showed that he could read defenses, right? And I know he played at Ohio State, which is an SEC, and like I know SEC is like the closest thing you'll get to the NFL. Nonetheless, it's definitely a bigger question mark than Bryce Young.
It's not like a deal breaker right off the bat,
no,
by any means. He's still the kid could play. I mean, but
going to a great coach in D'Amico Ryans.
Right. That's interesting.
And then the very next pick, freaking D'Amico pulls the trigger. And I actually predicted this next pick. I swear, and you were there when I said that. I knew that for some reason, I called up some of my guys at ESPN. But I said that they would trade up and get Will Anderson. I knew D'Amico was going to go one and get his guy. D'Amico D'Amico played linebacker for Houston and the Philadelphia Eagles. Like he wanted his guy. And when you have that much of a generational talent in 6'5" Will Anderson, who was a third, you're going to go get him.
Go get him.
You're going to go get him.
They're trying to build something there in Houston.
You got to think, like, God forbid, I wonder how many calls were truly for that third overall pick. Like how many people were like, yo, let me get it and get Will Anderson. I can tell you right now, Eagles were calling. I can tell you right now, the Bears were calling. Like, these people were calling.
Houston really, if they kind of got two cornerstone pieces for their franchise. Like, I mean, at key positions, quarterback and a pass rusher. Two premier spots. Like,
yeah. I'm happy. Like if I'm a Houston fan, I'm pretty happy right now. Like you have an exciting season coming up now. Although maybe you guys won't be at the top of the division or top of the AFC, but you have some players to watch out for now.
Oh yeah,
and two players that were high on mock drafts since freaking 2 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's a future there for sure.
That's why I'm excited. And
new coach, culture.
New coach. Talking about new coaches, the very next pick, Indianapolis Colts with the 4th overall pick select Anthony Richardson. Shane Steichen got his guy.
I like it. Solid pick. That was like they're meant to be together. Let's see how good Anthony Richardson can become.
And as I think any NFL team was kind of looking at that, like, well, hey, this is a boomer bust pick. Like, he might be really freaking good, or it might be pretty bad. Like, you never really know. And they had a guy like Gardner Minshew already there. I mean, what do you think they do with that? Do you think they start Rich or something? Or?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the job over like in camp. Like, maybe they might like originally say it's we're going with Minshew, but like might be a situation where like Richardson's just undeniable.
Or like something like Gardner's on a very tight leash, like one bad game and he's out.
Right.
Kind of thing, right?
Potentially.
That's always a possibility.
For sure.
That's always a possibility. But I mean, I like Anthony Richardson's very exciting. Like it could pan out to be really good. And I think having Shane Steichen there with him, I think that's good.
For sure.
I think it's gonna help out a lot. And then we have Devin Witherspoon with the very next pick. The Seattle Seahawks getting someone to play across from
Tariq Woolen.
yeah,
Really nice
And we
pick,
know
yeah.
Tariq Woolen's is a freak.
Yeah, they love having good DBs in Seattle.
Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah, they do. And I don't know, to round out the top five, like having a guy like Devin Witherspoon come off the board, he's going to be to me like I know he didn't again play at Illinois, didn't have the greatest competition, but he's an athletic freak. He's a ball hawk. He plays good coverage. I mean that he's good
Tackles
to have.
he hits.
And the Seahawks did just lose Sean Desai to the Eagles, but I feel like that's a safe pick as well. Like
Right.
and
Sure.
yeah, no, I like that pick a lot. And now that we got rid of the top five, let's skip around a little bit and just talk about some of the picks I want to get off my head.
Those top fives already like threw a lot of people's mock drafts completely off.
Yeah,
Like
I was pretty accurate until the No, I think I predicted Devin Witherspoon. I was pretty inaccurate until like this pick, like the very next picks or whatever.
Right.
Paris Johnson coming off, but. One pick I wanted to discuss was the Bijan Robinson pick because, again, as an Eagles fan, a lot of us were expecting a move up to get him or him to fall to us and get him.
Right.
But he didn't, and Atlanta took him, which, hey, did they get generational running back? Yeah, but I thought they had other holes in the team.
For sure. I think they just like saw something pretty and just grabbed it, and it might not have been the best pick for what they really needed to build their team.
You're giving a very, very shiny, nice ballpoint pen to a baby.
Right.
That's the kind of analogy I've heard over the last few days, and it's kind of true. It's like
no, that definitely makes sense.
I
Like,
don't know. They had Tyler Algier there who rushed for 1,000 yards.
now they're like the same team but with a good running back.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I feel about it. Definitely they even could have got like a cornerstone like lineman there. Like
There was still a lot there.
Peter Skoronski was
Carter.
there, right? I mean, and that's crazy to me because with the very next pick, the Philadelphia Eagles move up and
One
get
spot, right.
could be a potential steal of the draft at number 9.
Right.
Was Jalen Carter.
Oh
who-
my god, I loved it.
Yeah, give me your thoughts. Like, how were you feeling?
I don't want to be like a liar or anything. Originally going into draft, I was like, I wanted Bijan, but
Most of us were.
but getting Jalen Carter is a great pick. It's still that is not a loss, especially where we were able to get him. And at a need of what we have and coming in, replacing Hargrave potentially, just a great situation for him with some of his old teammates behind Fletcher Cox. I love it. Great pick.
Well, then they obviously paired him with like a guy like Nolan Smith and a guy like Keely Ringo and like
Right.
obviously N'Kobe, Jordan Davis already being there. Like, they're assembling something so they have chemistry in the defense. Like, there's nothing better than a group of guys who love each other going out there and hitting people with a ball.
Right.
Like there's nothing better than that, dude. Like, you have Jordan Davis. That's like 700 pounds of man right there in the, up the middle. I mean, God,
It's gonna be a problem.
it's crazy. to
Hassan
me.
Reddick too on the outside, like two similar body types and maybe play styles to Nolan Smith, but maybe they won't be on the field too much at the same time together. But I think Nolan can benefit from having Hassan Reddick around.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And
Getting
then
him at 30.
Yeah, that was a pretty good value pick. I know you didn't want him at 10, but you
Right.
were okay with us getting him at 30. You were saying
At 30,
like,
I love it.
yeah, it's a good value pick.
Yeah.
definitely. You got Tennessee Titans locked up a tackle, getting Peter Skoronski, locking him up, which is good for
Right.
them. I mean, that's a team that's kind of has been in poverty for a while. To be completely honest with you,
Right. That was just like a pretty sure shot, like can't go wrong pick. Like definitely you can't knock him for that. Grabbing a tackle that early. Somebody who's pretty like he's as sure as it gets to like a sure shot.
NFL ready
Yeah.
kind of caliber player. Him and Paris Johnson were both great prospects and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot for them. I think, I think they probably were in the running for either Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, or Anthony Richardson. I think if either three of them fell to them, that they were gonna snipe them up
Probably. Yeah.
and get it. But
there was still other quarterbacks that they were willing to pass on to take him. So I think that does show something.
no,
know,
definitely.
Not desperate.
And while I'm on the topic, like one fall, I just had this in my head. One fall that I didn't like was Christian Gonzalez, falling to the Patriots.
At 17.
Like a really,
Right.
really good cornerback, like a really stand up.
That was
cornerback.
a great pick for New England.
Yeah, they went all defense this draft, which is
Yeah.
quite weird to me. Like, I don't know. I thought they were another team that might trade up for a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of possibilities. They did have they had a few needs definitely to address, but with the way that it played out for them, they definitely have to be happy.
Yeah, yeah.
That is not a. I mean, you get a slide like that at 17, somebody who's gonna great pick.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no, I like it. I like it. And
outside corner who's gonna lock it up.
Belichick really
Hopefully.
always cares about his defense. Always wants a strong defense, but I do think they need to address offense. Some doing something with that,
sure,
right? They
for
definitely
sure.
need to. Reach of the first round. When people were saying was a reach of the first round was Jameer Gibbs at 12 to the Lions. Questionable.
I agree. I completely that throws me off. I don't see what they were doing there.
Again, and you
I
know,
don't see the image.
the plan definitely they had that before the draft that they were going to want to trade Swift and
Right.
they were going to draft Jameer. Like that had to have been the plan right there and then. Like I'm surprised. Like I wonder if they were probably in the running for Bijan as well. Then
Probably. I mean, I guess they couldn't get up to that high, but
if they got Bijan at 12, would we be saying it was a reach, or would we be saying?
no, maybe Bijan at 12 would have been a more justifiable pick. But I don't know. I just think they just completely ignored their needs really, and they just went like, okay, you draft Jameer Gibbs and trade DeAndre Swift. So like, really, do you get any better?
No, I was confused about that as well. I don't know. Swift obviously guys, if you don't know, Swift was traded to the Eagles like we said, which was
Fucking
another
awesome.
which is another bulldog to the Eagles.
Oh my god, I love it. That was a great trade for Howie. What did we give up? A 4th rounder next year?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what, real quick on the topic of I was listening to sports radio, our local sports radio, and they were talking about like Joe and Carter on the overnight, and like they were talking about how there like is red flags and whatnot, and then they were saying that if he has like character issues or accountability or you know maybe gains weight or whatnot too much, or they were saying how like our locker room really it's hard to straighten a kid out, and in my head I'm like I don't know, man, like the leadership that's in the Philadelphia Eagles locker room, they might be able to do the job.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy into that. I mean, we got Kelsey, BG, Fletch, like
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was weird to
Lane.
me.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll be able to straighten him up.
And also he's coming with former teammates already, people that he knows it's gonna be. I think it's if there's some team that can get Jalen Carter on a good path, it is the Eagles.
I believe
This
so.
is an ideal situation for him as well.
You think N'Kobe and Nolan are gonna let him slack or do everything? He's obviously
Right.
already under legal trouble and whatnot with everything that happened.
Right.
Like I'm telling, in my head, I think N'Kobe's or Jalen Carter even has himself under a leash, like a tight
Oh,
leash
for
with
sure.
that. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I definitely agree. I think he just wants to play football.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Philly's gonna love that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I already do. I love the pick there. It was a great value pick at 9 with him, and Nolan's for the 30 was also great. Like, oh man, it was such a good draft for every team. It was funny because like it was one of the only drafts where I go on Twitter after and I see everyone like kind of happy about their picks,
Oh yeah.
except for Dallas Cowboys getting the D tackle Mozzie Smith out of Michigan.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah, and,
But overall, yeah.
like he's a
solid
good
draft.
like he's a good player. He's a good player, but like he's like when you have like the biggest thing about your D tackle coming out of the draft is he's lazy. Like I know we drafted the D tackle with a little bit of more scrutiny under his belt, but we
But
know
he's a stud.
at least we know when he can. He's not just big and can clog up a hole.
No, he's like quick.
Yeah,
Like he
Oh,
plays like a corner.
It's hilarious to me.
Right.
It's funny, but I know we were talking earlier like Tennessee like didn't draft the QB, but I forgot they did. They got Will Levis in the second round.
right.
What do you think?
right. Decent pick for them. I mean, it's like a low risk.
Good thing it wasn't a first. That's my whole thing about it.
Right. To
it-
get him in the second round, I can definitely you could justify that. It's a low risk, like, and potential. He did have some potential to be a good quarterback. Let's see what happens.
He's got that arm ability. You know, he can track that ball wherever he goes. Like he does,
Definitely
but
gets sling
he's a weird guy though.
it.
Who puts mayo in their coffee?
Never heard of that before. That's
Eats banana peels.
weird.
And definitely scared of like eggs or milk or something. Just a weird guy.
Weird motherfucker.
And then another story I like was Joey Porter going to the Steelers, and the reason I like it is because they drafted his dad, man.
Right.
They drafted his dad.
That's pretty sick.
It's so freaking cool, man, to have that kind of stuff where the Steelers would draft you and your dad at one point.
It's a generational thing now.
Are you kidding me, dude? That's so sick to me. I
Insane.
I love
What are
it.
the odds?
I love it. A lot of the stories in the draft were just really good this year.
For sure.
And I'm definitely happy about it. I mean, as an Eagles fan, I can't be more happy. I think
That Swift trade is the icing on the cake. That was a fucking solid ass draft.
The-
A+.
the quarterback pick was questionable, but I think we give Howie one of those.
Yeah, I think it's probably just to give Ian Book somebody to compete with a little bit, and like he did last year. He was like he had a first round potential
Yeah.
grade. I don't know, just like a little like a yeah,
It's
it's
just a
just kind of like a
quarterback.
filler
Like
like
a 6th, 7th round pick.
just like
Whatever.
another arm.
Kind of like a Clayton Thorson pick from a few years ago, late in the draft. Like just a random quarterback.
Right,
Like
right.
whatever. Maybe he comes and competes.
Right,
Kind of gives us a really good backup because I mean I don't think we're that confident Marcus Mariota is their backup, but I mean
right. No.
you never know.
Maybe a third stringer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Eagles also drafted Tyler Steen, Alabama, which I liked.
yeah.
You think it'd be a day one starter for us?
Maybe at guard, like at right guard. You
I was
mean?
thinking about it.
Yeah, that definitely could happen. It kind of seems like it's either him or Cam, right?
But I don't want to move Cam
No, I think just give Cam the extra year behind Kelsey. Why not?
because when Kelsey goes, dude, you're not going to play any other position.
Right,
You're
right,
going to be playing center.
right. Like you needed. Yeah, I think maybe start him at guard right off the rip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think overall the Eagles did a good job adjusting their needs as well. Like having, they got that Sidney Brown out of
Right.
was it Illinois? It's one of those big,
Safety, yeah.
yeah, which he's fair. He looks very good on tape.
They got a lot of great value picks.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing in this draft out for every team is like just getting the value at your pick.
Right.
And it's other than the Cowboys, I think it's hard to figure out another team that didn't get the value for their pick, which is awesome.
Maybe Detroit.
Oh yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's such a. And listen, do I think Jahmyr Gibbs
like
is
a
going to be a great
bonehead.
player? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
a running back.
I don't
And he's not quote unquote generational like Bijan is
No.
taunted to be. Like,
It's probably like another like a Swift caliber.
yeah. Well, what do you mean by that?
I just feel like Detroit didn't get better with the first round pick. They just like drafted Jahmyr Gibbs
Another really good running back.
and then trade
Kinda
Swift. It's like they just like
lateral.
like-
you're
yeah,
saying?
right,
Yeah,
right,
no,
right,
I could definitely see that. Yeah, that does make sense to me. Like more of a lateral movement.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's like a waste of the 12th pick.
Yeah. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba went to Seattle, making that trio kind of dangerous over there.
Right.
It's a scary trio of him, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, and Gino had a good year last year. It's gonna be interesting to see.
If Gino plays half as good as he did, just with that core, man, like
Yeah,
they had a good draft
they
too.
could make some noise for sure.
Seattle was making noise in this draft.
Yeah.
They drafted very well. And it looks like I don't know. Seattle like is a team that like to me is like an underdog to really compete in the NFC. Like I know that underdog because they were basically a playoff team last year, but
Right.
they definitely could. They definitely could make it.
Like
Maybe
a
the second.
strong. They're gonna be a strong competition.
It just
Tough to
kind of
beat.
depends on how Gino plays
Right.
and
yeah,
that
for sure.
defense.
For sure. See if he could do it twice in a row.
Yeah, let's because have a good coach in
Right.
Pete Carroll.
They kind of got better. I mean, nothing else changed. It's like, all right, Gino, how good are you actually?
Yeah, let's see.
Right. Like,
All right, put it to the test, man. Put it to
Right.
the test. But yeah, I mean that was really the most notable thing. Anything else about the draft, Drew?
No, it was just it was wild. A lot of
It was
trades.
just a good draft.
I'm fucking happy as an Eagles fan.
Yeah, we could do a whole freaking reaction video for that because we're so excited. But
Sure.
I'm think most excited next year for like who are you most excited to play other than your team's rookies? As a Bama fan, I really do want to see Bryce Young play. I'm really excited to see how he does with Frank Reich and those guys. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see all these rookies, man.
Bijan, he's gonna be
I'm
fun to
excited
watch.
to see
He's gonna be
Bijan.
really fun to watch. I there's some people saying that he could already be like the number one overall pick for fantasy.
Isn't that it's crazy to
That's
think about.
wild.
It's crazy to think about. But sometimes like rookies do get that kind of hype, maybe even though they're not yet deserving
And
of
for
it.
fantasy, I can kind of see it because like there's not much else going on in Atlanta really.
Fuck it, Bijan's down there somewhere.
Right.
Like who's gonna be their starting quarterback? Tyler Haneke or something? Yeah, get Bijan first overall.
yeah.
He might get everything, but I don't know.
Lot
It's
of
kind of
carries.
a crappy situation for him. Like I hope he
A
doesn't
lot of
get
catches,
injured.
too. Probably be a PPR monster.
Oh man, I might get him.
Yeah.
I might get Swifty too. Him and Swift.
Ooh, that ain't bad.
Yeah, you never know. You never know with that.
Maybe flex Swift.
Yeah, yeah, you could do something like that. Oh man, a lot of these rookies are gonna have like fantasy opportunities too, which is just thought about. Like if I could pick one defensive player like out of all rookies like for fantasy, I'd get Will Anderson. He's gonna be so good. Will Anderson's gonna be so good,
Sack
man.
machine.
He has like no comp in the league. You can't compare him to anyone. He's 6'5". He's gigantic. He could play a linebacker or defensive end position.
Yeah, he's like one of a kind. It's really gonna be
Maybe
interesting to see what
Micah
D'Amico does
Parsons
with him.
kind of, but like he's a little bit bigger than Michael Parsons.
I want to see what D'Amico Ryans does with him. That's gonna be that's like a really good
I want to see what he does with the whole franchise
for sure. But
because I love D'Amico and I
Oh
think
my
he's the
God,
right
yeah.
guy for that position.
For sure, great leader. He was a great linebacker.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But if nothing else, Drew. Thank you guys for tuning in. Turn the post notification bell on. We'll have some more content coming out. We got UFC 288. We got to make a video on about that, and we do plan to keep more updated on some NFL news and whatnot. Because again, there's always some late free agency signings, especially when Howie is at the helm for the Philadelphia Eagles. Right. But nonetheless, guys, thank you for watching. Oh yeah, the Eagles need a linebacker.
Get one in free agency.
You guys are here. Bobby Wagner's coming to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
He'll make a trade.
Devin White.
Yeah, and there was one more guy. I was trying to think of Deion
Jones
and Devin White. Both were kind of rumored, possibly.
We'll see.
We'll see. But thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.